Hey y'all, hey, I am the Cosmic Love Clinician and I'm a marriage and family therapist that specializes in spiritual psychology. So, in these episodes, y'all, we have been doing a little Reddit thread hop. Okay. So, first off, as mentioned before, if you are out there and you need some dating advice, some love advice, or if you just want to share a crazy dating story because you're just like, what is going on? Please let me know in the comments because I would love for you to call in because I am starting a segment where I'm having people call in and we talk about it live, which is way better, right? So, and for people that don't want to call in, you could just, text me something because I'm going to be starting also a little text thread to where I'm answering questions as well. So just let me know if you want to be a part of that. But okay, y'all. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm going through Reddit and I'm going through like the Reddit relationships thread, the Reddit dating thread, the Am I the a-hole thread. I'm sure some of y'all have seen that as well, where people are questioning like, Am I the jerk here in the situation? Like, did I make the right call or what? So each video is going to be kind of different. So, just tune in to see me hopping in and out of each of these threads. Today we are doing Am I the a-hole? And so let me see. I'm scrolling through, and mind you, I'm just looking at these for the first time too, y'all. So I'm finding these with y'all right now. So we just gonna open them up, and I will give this person what I think is my clinical expertise and advice on what I think they should do. Because I just really want to show a lot of people out there that y'all are all going through similar things. We are all going through similar things. So let's talk about it. Okay, so this person says, would I be the a hole if I broke up with my girlfriend? So, okay, that's simple, but let's see why. So they say, I am a 26-year-old male and my girlfriend is a 30-year-old female. Okay, a couple of years different there. We have been together for almost 2 years. I have not really ever had any relationship before this. We never really fought except for two instances. Once on a cruise when she was really drunk on a cruise and talking with other guys at the bar, and the other about how she lied about having relations with our mechanic before we were together, supposedly. Now I find myself asking, he keeps repeating some words, but anyway, so now I find myself asking if this is too much. She works heavily in a male dominated field, and this morning I possibly made a mistake. I looked through her phone messages. Oh, don't do that unless you're trying to cry. Yeah, don't do that. You're gonna end up breaking up for sure. So y'all don't do that. So let me see. I looked through her phone messages. And he said, I know, pretty taboo, but she's acting differently from what she usually does. And I had a nightmare about her, so I can help myself. Okay. So I get it. I get it. I get it. Just prepare yourself. If you're going to do that, prepare yourself for what you're going to find. And this is another thing. If you feel like you got to do that anyway, that tells you a lot. Okay. The fact that you even feel like you have to do that should already let you know what you need to do. Okay. So when I looked through them, she said she had a message from a coworker on Tuesday morning. It is now Thursday morning. The message said, "Damn, you look good today," or maybe I'm just yeah, I don't know. We can say that word on YouTube. LOL. She has had messages with him before, from what I've seen, but only from the past month. Nothing else too damning. When she awoke, I asked her about it, and she told me she kept the messages so she could show HR. Ooh. I would, what? That's a good excuse. I don't know if that's true, but that is a good excuse actually. So don't get no ideas out there, but that was clever. So maybe she actually meant it. But she says she hasn't because she hasn't had the time. I don't know if I actually believe her because she does have time to do things like that. She gets 3 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch. It's him breaking down the math for me. Okay. She also didn't seem to show any concern for when I brought it up to her. She just said, "Well, if you don't believe me, then I don't know what to tell you." She don't care. Oh my gosh. Okay. This stings a lot. Oh, this stings a lot as it shows me that she doesn't care about the relationship. Red flag number what 3 now? Cause come on. I absolutely positively love this woman and really just want her to explain it away from me, but she just throws her hands up and walks away. I'm sure if she had actually talked things out to me and put forth a little effort, I would have let this pass. But now I'm at a wit's end on how she hasn't put forth any effort, hardly at all. I am now in the back of my truck Poor thing. I am now in the back of my truck drinking at 6 in the morning and my world is crumbling around me. Oh my God, this poor baby. I thought this would have been the woman I was gonna marry, but now I don't know anymore. So Reddit, would I be the a-hole if I told her I didn't want to continue this relationship anymore? Okay, y'all, this was a roller coaster of emotions. I ain't gonna hold you. Cause even though it's funny how he's describing the things, this is sad. This man just said he is drinking at 6 in the morning in the back of his truck. Poor thing. Oh my goodness. Okay. This girl, I just want to, what do y'all think? I'm gonna just be a moment of silence. What do y'all think? Exactly. Exactly. She don't give a right. Okay. So he's obviously not the a-hole here. He hasn't even done anything. He just named a bunch of things in this paragraph. Mind you, we are yeah, y'all ever heard that whole saying of like it's his side, her side, and the truth? Y'all ever heard that? So he's only explaining his side right now. We don't know. We don't know what he's done in this relationship. He's only naming the things that she's done. She cheated on him twice. He said one time might have been before, but we don't know. She's in the male dominated field. This man said, her coworker said, "Oh, okay. I was making sure she didn't send no picture or nothing." He said, "You look good today," so he probably saw her at work. So I don't know. We don't know what she got going on at work. But my thing is, the biggest red flag is he is bringing his concern to her and she is actively shutting it down. She is being avoidant. So she's being very avoidant, and that is not what we need to be, right? In a relationship, you have to be open, you have to be understanding of your partner's feelings. So if somebody is coming to you saying that something is wrong, as the other partner, you should care, right? You should care and be like, let me try to explain this to you. Let me make you feel a little bit better. Unless the person is extremely, extremely, extremely insecure. So that's what we don't know in this message. We don't know this man. We don't know if he's one of these very insecure people. So we don't know how tired she is. Maybe every day he's asking her about something. Maybe he's like questioning her and watching her moves and all this. We don't know. So if he's is a very insecure person, then yeah, she's probably over it, and that's probably why she's not answering him because she's probably like, "You asked me this a million times. I didn't already tell you before that nothing's going on. Like, what? How much more do I need to prove to you?" And this also reminds me another one of my clients that I've had before, and her boyfriend, she nothing went. No, he was a sweet guy in her opinion. She will always say that, oh, he does nothing wrong, but she will always question him all the time about, do you still want your ex? Are you sure do you want your ex? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And it's the same type of energy that I'm probably getting from this person. So I don't know. He could be a little insecure, y'all. And so my thing is, I don't think he would be an a-hole if he broke up with her because obviously, you know, I still don't think that anybody that's not paying you any attention or paying you any mind, that's not a good quality to have for somebody that he said that, oh, I thought she was gonna be my wife. No, that's not your wife if she can't even answer a simple question that you're, concerned about. However, um, yeah, we need more context clues. I need because I want to know like has he tried to talk to her directly to be like, hey, can we have a conversation? This is how I feel. Has he brought up any, you ever heard that saying of like, don't bring me a problem, bring me a solution? Has he ever came up with any solutions? Like, oh, can we have a weekly check-in to see how we're feeling? Because I just want to make sure you're still into me or whatever. I want to make sure you're happy. Like, whatever. I want to know what he's done. Because if he's just like, oh, should I break up with her? What is it? Why? Is it because you feel like, first off, why do you break up with her after the first two times that she cheated? That would be one of my first questions. Because if that's the case, are you just now adding on a list? Because my thing is, okay, this is one thing about relationships that kind of tee me off. Folk be forgiven and forgiven and forgiven, but they don't forget. So, but that's and then I'm saying that in a bad way. So, and when I say forgive, that means that because you're not forgetting, you're not truly forgiving because that thing is always in the back of your mind. So they always bring it up at the most opportune time of like, because right now clearly he passed it because he said what she cheated. He said they've been together for almost 2 years, and so two instances she cheated on him on a cruise. I don't know how long ago that was, and then this mechanic guy, I don't know what about that. We don't know if the girl was lying or what. So I don't know if he's just like, okay, well, if it was before, then cool. So maybe he gave her the benefit of the doubt. But the cruise thing, so what made you keep going with that? Did she apologize and you were just like, okay, I'm not gonna lose her, it's fine. But now you bringing it up now. So did you really forgive her if you bringing it up now? You know what I'm saying? So stop doing that, y'all. Stop saying that you forgive somebody if you really don't. Because if you're gonna bring something up later on, then it's not really forgiving. So Yeah. So I don't know. I feel as if they're both kind of at their breaking points because I feel like this person is probably a little insecure that he's just not saying it in here. So I feel like she fed up with that, and I feel like he fed up with the fact that he's trying to get more answers out of her that she's able to give him because she could be cheating. We don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm not gonna say that this is like dead in the water, but I really do have more questions because there's too many I have too many things that I'm trying to figure out here. But I don't think he's an a-hole. I think that they just have bad communication. Because I don't think she's an a-hole either. I mean, the cheating thing was pretty wrong, but we don't know what she's done to make it up for him. Because obviously they still in a relationship, so she had to do something. Hopefully she did something to go above and beyond to prove herself, but we don't know. So yeah, let me see what somebody said in the comments. So somebody said, I think rather than saying all these possible reasons why you should leave her, you should ask yourself, do I love her? And are these things that I am willing to live with? Ooh, that's good. Are these things that I'm willing to live with? Yep. It's not going to be easy to leave a 2-year relationship, but I believe that since you came to Reddit, you already know the answer. They eating, okay? You don't need validation, period. That's why I was like, what do y'all think? When I got quiet, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, you already here, right? He sees the red flags. So if it doesn't feel right and you don't feel loved or in love, then it's probably time to leave. Yes. Okay. Whoever this person is, jellyfish. Eating with that one. That was good. That was some good advice right there. But yeah. So okay, let's see if we can find somebody else. All right. Another one is uh okay. Some of these are about like family stuff, interesting enough because I mean it makes sense because it says am I the a-hole relationships, and obviously that's another thing people don't really understand when you hear the word relationship. You don't just think um people only think love or dating, and relationships could be relationship with your siblings, relationship with your parents, relationship with your friends. Relationships are just like connections between people. So yeah, some of these that I'm looking at are just family, but I'm trying to like go through to find specifically the loved ones that we can talk about. Let me see. So somebody else said, hmm. Okay, let's see what this one is talking about. Am I the am I the a-hole for not being sure I can continue my marriage after my husband tested me? So let's see what she means by this. Ooh, this is a long read. Let me see. I don't expect anyone to read this. I said this is a long read, but luckily I read fast, so let's get through it. I don't expect anyone to read this, but I need somewhere to get this out. So for context, I'm a 35-year-old female, have been with my husband. He's 41. He's a male for 16 years and married for 12. Okay, long time. This whole thing started due to commenting on one another's posts. Generally, we avoid commenting on each other's stuff for two because we are aware that we disagree on a lot of things. He decided to comment on a post of mine, so I assumed this meant he was okay with having these debates in publics. So I did the same. But boy, did I not expect this to go the way that it did. Somehow he took me disagreeing with him as being ashamed of him. He had to later explain to me when we were where he even got this notion. After a bit of back and forth about the topic, I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning on Wednesday, he started texting me telling me that if I was that ashamed of him, then he would move out. This naturally blindsided me because what? Right, that's a little extreme, but okay. He kept going on about how he was right to his opinions and that I shouldn't be ashamed of him for them. Again, I never said I was. He continued down this road all day, texting me at work, just going in circles about this, saying he's leaving and blaming me for him leaving. Sounds like he already wanted to leave, but okay. I never told him to leave. Finally, after 6 hours of this nonstop texting, I told him, fine. If he's going to leave, then go. I'm not going to fight with him to stay because it's not who I am. If someone tells me they don't want to be with me or in my life, I will not fight to keep them in it. This is apparently the wrong thing to say because he took that as me telling him to leave. Girl, okay. Anyway, honestly, at this point, I was just tired of arguing with him. When I get home, he has already left the house and is still texting me about the same circular things. Then states he is just up the road and he would like to talk to me in person. I agreed, not really sure how that would help, but still. He arrived back at our house and began arguing with me about the same things, not saying anything different than what he was saying all day. So I said I was going for a walk. While I was on this walk, he texted me to ask me why I stayed with him for this long. Then why is he spiraling? Anyway, that he was worried I was just staying with him until our kids, 17, a 17-year-old boy, a 14-year-old boy, and a 12-year-old boy. Oh, they got all boys, cute. Turned 18, and I would just leave. Then he wanted to test me to see if I would fight for him to stay. This made me so angry. He started a fight intentionally. Told me he was leaving, tried to gaslight me into believing I told him to leave, all to give me a test that he knew I would fail. He is now upset that I will not talk to him or even acknowledge him. I'm just hurt and confused at this point. He's saying he doesn't want to leave, but how am I supposed to believe him now? And one day he told me he was leaving, that he didn't want to leave, and that it was all just a test. How am I supposed to know which one is the truth? So, am I the a hole for not being sure I can continue my marriage after my husband tested me? Okay. So, and then she did an update. She said, "So, update. We spoke today, and I have no more clarity or answers than I did before the conversation." Girl, well, why are you updating us? Apparently he doesn't know why he did what he did, but then he went on to say that apparently I've been distant lately. When I've been doing 60 to 80 hours a week work, I added some local dude to my Facebook, so naturally I'm cheating with him. Then that's why I've been distant. So that's what the husband is thinking. That he feels like he's holding me back, but he can't explain why. Then he's fighting, relapsing, just all random stuff that adults deal with on some level, and simply end up being the outlet. Basically, oh, she said she ended up being the outlet. I told him I don't trust him at all, nor why are they're perfect for each other, they both dramatic. Nor do I know what to believe, because some of it doesn't even make sense. That I don't know how to forgive him for breaking me all over again. Okay, all over again. Okay. And that I didn't have an answer for whether I wanted to stay married or not yet. So he gave me his wedding ring back. Ooh, and said to give it back to him when I want to try again. I know it's not great or a lot, but it's what I have now. Okay. So it's a lot of okay. This last paragraph of this update just let me know how much trauma is in their relationship. Because first off, she said she's been working 60 to 80 hours a week at work. So what is he doing? For one, what is he doing? Don't get me wrong. Not every family dynamic needs to be the man is working and all that. Even the way I grew up, my mom was the breadwinner and my dad was kind of like the one that raised us. So I get it. People's family dynamics are different. So I don't know what he does, but working 60 to 80 hours a week as a woman is a lot. Because I just know, how women think about like, oh, I have a man. What is he doing? So that would be one of my questions to them. Is I'm curious about their dynamics, like who does what, what's the responsibilities, who pays for what, blah blah blah. Because why is she working that hard? Just like some people really do like to work, but I'm just curious in general, just as a regular general question. Yeah, adding the local dude to her Facebook. First off, that he even noticed that. The fact that he noticed that tells me that he is probably insecure. Because and also she said that he brought up that he thinks that she could be cheating with him. So all the insecurity stuff. And he said he feels like he's holding her back. So there's some deep insecurity within him for sure, because he feels like she's probably looking elsewhere. She's working a lot, so like I said, I don't know what he does. So maybe he feels like he's not contributing. He feels like he's holding her back for some reason. So I can tell that the whole test is because of his insecurity. The test is like, well, let me just see if she wants me to be here. Like, let me just okay. So he thought of anything, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start an argument, and it's gonna get so bad, and I'm just gonna see if she fights for me. And so whatever this argument was about, she didn't even say, oh, that's what I want to know. I wanted to know what the argument was about. I wanted to see like what was the thing that they were disagreeing on, because she said it was online. She said they avoid commenting on each other's stuff because she said that she's aware that they disagree on a lot of things. Honestly, as a couple, y'all should not be disagreeing on stuff like that. So it makes me think, I hope it wasn't nothing political, because if you and your partner are politically disagreeing, that's not a good relationship to be in. Stuff like that, you got to think about like values, and big values like that, like politics and stuff like that is really big, especially if you both are argumentative people. Because she said we normally don't comment on each other's stuff because we're aware we disagree. So that means that they're both opinionated people. So that is probably one of their biggest values. So yeah, stuff like that. If you and your partner are very black and white on stuff like that, that's never gonna end well. So but it's good that she knows that because they disagree, they don't even like engage. So that's good. But I don't know why this time they decided to, but she said, he decided to comment on a post of hers. So that means he is incited the situation. So her question is she the a-hole for not being sure if she wants to continue her marriage? Yes, because when I'm reading this, they are both dramatic. Like I'm just looking like, why did he escalated? He's being super extra because of his insecurities, and she's like, you could tell she's probably a little feisty. You know what I'm saying? Like, just from reading this, she's probably like a little like, you like I said, opinionated. Like she said, and she said somewhere in here, she was like, "Oh, that's not me as a person." So like, I'm not gonna fight for somebody. Like you could just tell she a little feisty. So she's a little what's the word? Not aggressive, but like she stands up for what she believes in, and she know who she is as a person. So I just feel like that type of individual with a person that's insecure is going to be very uh tumultuous. Like it's not going to be very smooth most of the time. But is she the a-hole for trying to like say, I don't know if I want to continue my marriage? For the reasons she listed, yes, because these are not reasons to leave your whole husband. Like y'all could just talk this through and get back on good terms. He obviously is insecure, so he wants to feel love in some kind of way. So they need to rediscover that. So her just saying like, "Oh, I'm not talking to him because he tested me." I feel like she's not looking into why he did it. Cause I could clearly tell his insecurity. So I feel like they just need to have a loving conversation. Like, oh, he needs to man up because he's not being direct. He's being very, what's the word? Passive, and a little passive aggressive because he testing her, so he's trying to see like without being direct. So he's just not being direct. He needs to tell her how he feel. He need to tell her like, hey honey, I feel like I don't do enough. I feel like maybe you could love somebody else better. Da, da, da. He need to tell her how she feel, and she needs to let her guard down, stop being so rough, and just like listen to him. So they just need to have a conversation. So her threatening to divorce him is a lot. But I do agree, like I said, if it is political and they're disagreeing about the communication stuff, that's not good. So we got to look at values. So divorcing him for their values not being the same, that would have been a better reason. Divorcing him because shit, she working 60, 80 hours a week. So if, I don't know what he's doing in the house, but divorcing him because he's not helping around the house could be a reason. Because I don't know if she's asked him, hey, can you get a job? Can you do more? I don't know. So those are the questions I would be asking. So yeah, her reasoning for wanting to divorce him, yes, she's the a-hole here because she's doing too much. Ignoring him, she's not talking. He gave the wedding ring back because he just don't know. He's like, look, it's in your hands now because I'm trying to talk to you and you're not talking, basically. So yeah, in this case, she is. However, he shouldn't have did what he did at all. Because him being insecure is what's going to ruin this relationship for sure. But I don't think there's anything that can't be talked out, unless, like I said, it's big stuff like the values and all that. But again, we don't know. So let me see what somebody said in the comments. Um, Somebody said she's not the a-hole. Is She said they said you need some counseling though. Yeah, they said this is not, and that's not rational behavior of a 40-year-old man. Exactly, right. So yes, so they both do need counseling, and yeah, no, that's not rational behavior. This person said, yeah, to me it sounds like he got butt hurt about something stupid, maybe already in a bad mood and overreacted. Exactly like what I said. He was overreacting. Then he felt dumb later. Yeah, and especially whatever they were arguing about, and he was like, "Oh, you don't think that I'm smart enough or whatever, blah blah blah. Why do you just like tell me before that you don't like me?" He's just super insecure. So clearly, he felt dumb, like this person said. Um, so yeah, he doubled down. He tried to turn it around. So now he was the victim, and you called his bluff. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, again, y'all, don't want to make this video too long. I'm just trying to see if it's any good comments, but because we only got to do two today, because this one's kind of long. But yeah, some people are saying that he has like manipulative behavior for doing that. Yeah. Anyway, let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. And once again, if you are going through something out there and you would like to talk about it, please let me know in the comments so we can exchange some info. You could give me a little call, we can talk about it, or you can send in your message via text. So let me know in the comments. But thank you for watching.